1935 bad condition wheat penny may not appear impressive at first glance, especially when heavily worn or damaged. But looks can be deceiving. Minted during the throes of the Great Depression, this coin represents a challenging period in American history. With a mintage of over 245 million at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1935 wheat penny was a common coin in its time. The obverse features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1935. The reverse boasts the classic wheat ears design, flanking the denomination and the motto, E pluribus unum. Even in poor condition, this penny holds significant historical value. It circulated widely in an era when every cent was precious, serving as a reminder of the resilience and resourcefulness of Americans during hard times. Coins in bad condition often have stories to tell, as they have traveled through countless hands, witnessing everyday life during one of the most challenging periods in U.S. history. For collectors, even heavily worn 1935 wheat pennies serve as tangible links to the past. They're a reminder of a time when people relied on every penny, whether to buy a loaf of bread or save for the future. One aspect to consider with the 1935 wheat penny is its availability. Being minted in large quantities, this coin is relatively common. However, the condition significantly impacts its value. A 1935 wheat penny in poor condition might only be worth its face value or slightly more to a casual collector. However, to history enthusiasts or those who appreciate coins for their narratives, even a heavily worn piece can hold sentimental or educational value. Many collectors cherish such coins as part of a broader effort to document American history through currency. The 1935 wheat penny is also a great entry point for beginners in the coin collecting hobby. Its affordability and historical significance make it an excellent teaching tool for new collectors who want to learn about grading, minting, and the historical context of coins. For instance, examining the wear patterns on a 1935 wheat penny can provide insights into how coins deteriorate over time, especially when subjected to heavy circulation. Collectors can also study the variations in mint marks and understand how minting practices evolved during the early 20th century. For those interested in restoring or preserving coins, a bad condition 1935 wheat penny offers opportunities for experimentation. While cleaning coins is generally discouraged in the numismatic community, learning proper preservation techniques can help maintain the integrity of a coin without damaging its historical value. Beginners can practice these skills on low-value coins, like the 1935 wheat penny, before applying them to more valuable pieces. When it comes to identifying counterfeit coins, even a bad condition 1935 wheat penny can be educational. Collectors can learn to recognize authentic characteristics, such as the font style, spacing of the inscriptions, and the overall design. Comparing a worn 1935 wheat penny to a known counterfeit can highlight subtle differences, helping collectors develop a critical eye. Next up, the year 1949 was an era of optimism and rebuilding for the United States. The country was transitioning out of the challenges of World War II and into a period of economic growth and prosperity. Coinage from this time reflects a renewed sense of national pride and purpose. The Lincoln wheat penny, originally introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was a staple of everyday transactions. By 1949, this iconic coin had been in circulation for 40 years, becoming a familiar and trusted symbol of American resilience and history. The obverse of the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was revolutionary when it debuted, as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Surrounding Lincoln's bust are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1949. The reverse showcases two wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, translating to out of many, one. The simplicity and elegance of this design have made it a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. What sets the 1949 clip plancher wheat penny apart is its fascinating minting error. A clip plancher error occurs during the production process when the metal blanks, planchets, are improperly punched out of the metal sheet. This results in a coin with a missing crescent-shaped or straight-edged section. The size and location of the clip can vary, creating unique and highly sought-after variations. Some clips are subtle, while others are more dramatic, with larger portions of the coin missing. In the case of the 1949 wheat penny, collectors particularly value examples where the clip does not obscure key design elements like Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions. To truly appreciate the significance of this error, it's important to understand the minting process. Coins are struck from metal sheets using high-pressure dies. Before striking, the sheets are fed into a punching machine to create planchettes. If the sheet is misaligned or overlaps with a previously punched area, the resulting planchette will have a clip. This type of error is relatively rare, as quality control measures usually catch such defects before the coins enter circulation. However, when these coins do slip through the cracks, they become prized collectibles. The value of a 1949 clip planchette wheat penny depends on several factors, including the size and location of the clip, the coin's overall condition, and the presence of other errors. In general, minor clips might fetch $20 to $50, while more pronounced examples can command several $100s. Coins that are well preserved or have additional errors such as die cracks or doubled dies are even more valuable. For collectors specializing in error coins, the 1949 clip planchette wheat penny represents a perfect blend of historical significance and manufacturing anomaly. The year 1952 was part of a post-World War II era that saw significant cultural and economic growth in the United States. The Korean War was ongoing, and the American people were looking toward a future of prosperity and innovation. Pennies minted during this period were part of the daily lives of Americans, used in countless transactions, and serving as a reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which started in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, was a staple of American coinage, and by 1952, it had been in circulation for over 4 decades. Now let's dive into the design features of the 1952 wheat penny. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner. This iconic image of Lincoln was groundbreaking when it first appeared in 1909, as it was the first time a U.S. coin depicted a real historical figure. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right. On the reverse, you'll find 2 stylized wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent, and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. The reverse design, simple yet elegant, symbolizes unity and abundance. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1952 brown shade wheat penny is its coloration. While most wheat pennies were minted with a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, environmental factors such as oxidation, heat, and exposure to chemicals can alter a coin's appearance over time. The result is a wide range of shades, from reddish-brown to deep chocolate tones, with the brown shade being particularly appealing to many collectors. This natural patina gives each coin a unique character, turning a simple penny into a miniature work of art. In terms of mintage, the 1952 wheat penny was struck in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 186 million coins. The Denver Mint struck approximately 746 million, and the San Francisco Mint contributed about 137 million. Combined, this makes the 1952 wheat penny one of the more common dates in the series. However, condition and rarity still play a significant role in determining a coin's value, especially for those with unique features like the brown shade patina. When it comes to market value, the 1952 brown shade wheat penny's worth depends heavily on its condition, coloration, and any unique characteristics. Coins in average circulated condition typically sell for a few cents to $1. However, those in higher grades, such as MS-65 or above, can fetch significantly more, sometimes reaching $15 to $50 or even higher for coins with particularly attractive toning or exceptional eye appeal. Collectors place a premium on well-preserved examples with minimal wear, sharp details, and original luster. Next up, The year 1925 was part of a period of great change and growth in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, an era marked by economic prosperity, cultural shifts, and technological advancements. Jazz music was taking the nation by storm. Women had recently gained the right to vote, and the automobile industry was booming. Amidst this backdrop of progress, the humble wheat penny continued to serve as a daily reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy and the values he stood for. By 1925, the Lincoln wheat penny had been in circulation for 16 years, having debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now, let's move on to the design features of the 1925 wheat penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This was a groundbreaking design choice at the time, as it marked the first appearance of a real historical figure on a U.S. coin. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1925 to the right. The reverse of the coin showcases two stylized wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent. And the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many, one." The simplicity and elegance of this design have made it a timeless classic, cherished by collectors for over a century. One of the key aspects that make the 1925 wheat penny in fine condition stand out is its state of preservation. Coins in fine condition show moderate wear, but retain all major details of the design. Lincoln's portrait, for example, remains clear and well-defined, while the wheat ears on the reverse are still easily recognizable. This level of preservation adds to the coin's appeal, especially when compared to heavily worn examples that have lost much of their original detail. In terms of mintage, the 1925 wheat penny was produced in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, produced a staggering 139,949,000 pennies that year. The Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark, produced 22,580,000 coins, while the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, struck 26,380,000. Despite these high mintage numbers, finding a 1925 wheat penny in fine condition or better can still be a challenge, as many coins from this era were heavily circulated and subjected to the wear and tear of everyday use. When it comes to market value, the 1925 wheat penny's worth varies depending on its condition and mint mark. In fine condition, a 1925 penny from the Philadelphia Mint typically sells for around $50 to $1. Coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints, being scarcer, command higher prices, ranging from $1.50 to $3 or more. Uncirculated examples in pristine condition can fetch significantly higher prices, often exceeding $50, especially for coins with exceptional eye, appeal, or rare varieties. Next up, the year 1924 was a significant period in American history. The United States was experiencing the aftermath of World War I and the economic prosperity of the Roaring Twenties. This era saw advancements in technology, culture, and industrialization, while prohibition laws shaped the social landscape. Calvin Coolidge was serving as president, promoting a laissez-faire approach to governance and fostering economic growth. Amid this dynamic backdrop, the 1924 wheat penny was minted, a humble yet enduring symbol of American resilience and progress. Now let's examine the design features of the 1924 wheat penny. The obverse, or front side, features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design, introduced in 1909, commemorated the centennial of Lincoln's birth and marked the first time a U.S. rebel coin featured a real historical figure. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," while Liberty is positioned to his left and the date 1924 to his right. The reverse side showcases two stylized wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent and the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one." This timeless design remained unchanged throughout the wheat penny's production, making it a cherished staple of American coinage. What sets the 1924 brown shade wheat penny apart is its distinctive color and patina. Over time, the copper composition of the coin naturally oxidizes, creating a rich brown tone that adds character and uniqueness. This brown shade is highly valued by collectors, as it reflects the coin's age and authenticity while preserving its intricate details. Coins with a consistent and attractive brown patina are particularly sought after, as they exhibit both aesthetic appeal and historical significance. In terms of mintage, the 1924 wheat penny was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 7,578,000 coins, the Denver Mint produced 2,520,000, and the San Francisco Mint minted 11,696,000. The significantly lower mintage numbers from the Denver and San Francisco mints make these variations scarcer and more desirable among collectors. While the Philadelphia issue is more common, high-grade examples are still highly valued.
Roosevelt dime, minted in Denver, is a continuation of the iconic series first introduced in 1946. This series replaced the Mercury dime to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a fitting tribute to a leader who not only guided the U.S. through the Great Depression and World War II, but also supported the fight against polio. The design, created by John R. Roosevelt, showcases Roosevelt's left-facing profile on the obverse with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1992. The reverse highlights a torch, flanked by olive and oak branches, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The mint mark D is positioned above the date, signifying its origin at the Denver Mint. Despite a high mintage of over 837 million coins, the 1992 D-dime's condition determines its value. In circulated condition, it is worth face value. However, examples in fine or uncirculated states can command $2 or more, with MS65 or higher grades reaching $10 or more. Collectors are particularly drawn to error coins, such as those with off-center strikes, double dies, or strikes on incorrect planchets. These rare finds can elevate a dime's value to hundreds of dollars. For hobbyists assembling Roosevelt dime sets, the 1992 D stands out as an affordable, yet historically significant piece. Next up, the 1999 P dime, minted in Philadelphia, captures a transitional moment at the cusp of a new millennium. While over 2.5 billion were struck, making it one of the most common modern dimes. Its backstory and potential hidden value make it worth examining. Like its counterparts, this dime bears Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and the torch motif on the reverse, with the P mint mark denoting Philadelphia above the date. In circulated condition, this dime holds its face value. However, pristine examples can fetch $1 to $3, and high-grade certified coins might sell for $10 or more. Error coins are a major attraction for collectors, including die cracks, cud marks, repunched mint marks, and double die obverse errors. Such anomalies can boost a coin's value to $50, $100, or even $200, depending on their visibility and condition. The 1999 P-dime's widespread availability doesn't deter collectors who revel in the thrill of discovering these rare errors or assembling a complete Roosevelt dime collection. Next up, the 1978's D-dime, also minted in Denver, reflects the era of the late 1970s, a period marked by technological advancements and heightened demand for circulating coinage. Its design continues Cynic's classic imagery, with Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and the torch, olive, and oak branch motifs on the reverse. The D mint mark signifies Denver as its place of origin. With a mintage exceeding 563 million, the 1978 dime is not inherently rare. However, high-quality examples have become harder to find over the decades. Circulated versions usually hold face value, while uncirculated specimens can sell for $2 to $5. Coins graded MS65 or higher, with exceptional luster and detail, may fetch between $10 and $25. Collectors are particularly keen on error coins from 1978, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins with missing elements. The double D reverse error is a noteworthy variant that can command upwards of $100. For collectors building date and mint mark sets, the 1978 D dime serves as a vital link to the late 20th century and a potential source of fascinating errors. Next up, the 2000 D Roosevelt dime was minted in Denver as part of a series that has been a mainstay in U.S. currency since 1946. This series was introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, commemorating his leadership during World War II and his dedication to public health initiatives, including the March of Dimes campaign. Next up, the 2000 D Roosevelt campaign, dined by the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 2000. The reverse showcases a torch, flanked by olive and oak branches, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, with the D mint mark above the date, signifying the Denver Mint. In 2000, the Denver Mint struck over 1.8 billion dimes, making this a common coin in circulation. Its high mintage means that most examples found in pocket change are in circulated condition, often showing signs of wear. However, the abundance of these coins doesn't diminish their potential interest for collectors, particularly those seeking high-quality specimens or error coins. The value of the 2000 Roosevelt dime depends heavily on its condition. In circulated condition, these dimes typically hold their face value of 10 cents. However, coins in fine or uncirculated condition can command higher prices, ranging from $2 to $5. For collectors seeking top-tier examples, coins graded MS65 or above by professional grading services can sell for $10 to $20. Such coins must exhibit sharp details, strong luster, and no visible imperfections. Plato said, "Error coins from the 2000 minting are particularly desirable among collectors. Examples of valuable errors include coins struck off-center due to misaligned dies. Depending on the degree of the error, these coins can sell for $50 to $200. These coins have an absent outer layer, revealing the copper core beneath. Such errors can fetch $100 or more, depending on the severity and visual appeal. These errors occur when the dies used to strike the coins develop cracks or chips, resulting in raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface. Depending on the size and location, these errors can add $50 or $150 to the coin's value. Despite its common mintage, the 2000 Roosevelt dime holds appeal for various types of collectors. Beginners often include it as part of a complete Roosevelt dime set, which spans from 1946 to the present. Advanced collectors may seek out high-grade examples or hunt for rare errors that distinguish these coins from their billions of counterparts. The 2000 dime is also a favorite among error coin enthusiasts. The sheer volume of coins produced increases the likelihood of discovering unique minting anomalies, making it an accessible and exciting series to search through for hidden treasures. Beyond its numismatic appeal, the 2000 Roosevelt dime serves as a snapshot of its time. The year 2000 marked the dawn of a new millennium, a period characterized by technological advancements, economic optimism, and a renewed focus on the future. This dime is a small yet tangible reminder of that era, connecting everyday commerce to broader historical and cultural shifts. The 2000 Roosevelt dime is more than just a 10-cent piece. Its historical significance, design features, and potential value make it a fascinating subject for collectors and enthusiasts alike. Whether you're assembling a complete set of Roosevelt dimes, searching for high-grade examples, or hunting for rare errors, this coin offers plenty to discover. Next up, in examining the 1987 P1 dime, it's important to first consider its place within the Roosevelt dime series, which was introduced as a tribute to the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Upon his death in 1945, a national movement quickly grew to create a coin that would memorialize his legacy, particularly his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The coin, which was first minted in 1946, featured a portrait of Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek, a talented engraver at the U.S. Mint. Sinek's design would go on to become one of the most enduring depictions of Roosevelt, and it remains in use to this day on the obverse of the dime. The reverse of the coin, also designed by Sinek, features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. This combination of design elements has come to represent the ideals of the United States in a manner that resonates strongly with American citizens, regardless of the decade or the specific year of the coin's production. The 1987 P dime, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, falls into the category of post-1964 dimes, which are made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. This composition was introduced following the silver crisis of the 1960s, when rising silver prices prompted the U.S. government to shift away from using silver in its coins. As a result, the Roosevelt dime, which was originally minted in 90% silver, became a copper-nickel-clad coin, with a core of pure copper and an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The change in composition was part of a broader effort to reduce the cost of minting coins while still maintaining the integrity and appearance of the U.S. currency system. For collectors, the 1987 P dime represents another example of this era of transition, with the copper-nickel-clad dimes being less valuable in terms of metal content than their silver predecessors, but still maintaining the same design elements. As for the mintage of the 1987 P1 dime, Approximately 1.28 billion coins were produced, making it one of the more common coins from the series. This high mintage figure reflects the widespread circulation of the 1987 P1 dime, meaning that it is readily available for collectors and the general public alike. In fact, finding a 1987p dime in circulation is not particularly difficult, as the coin remained in circulation for many years after its initial minting. While this large mintage ensures that the coin is not rare by any means, it also means that the 1987p dime is widely accessible to collectors who may wish to include it in their Roosevelt dime collections. In terms of market value, the 1987p dime, like many other coins from this era, is not particularly valuable in its circulated state. A typical 1987p dime found in everyday circulation is worth only its face value of 10 cents. However, coins that have been well preserved and remain in uncirculated condition can be worth more, typically in the range of $1 to $2, depending on the grade of the coin. Coins that have been graded by professional services such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCG, may fetch a higher price, but even uncirculated examples are still relatively modest in value due to the high mintage. Proof coins, which are specially struck for collectors, may have a slightly higher value, with the 1987 PE proof dime typically worth between $3 and $10, depending on its condition and whether it is accompanied by its original packaging. Despite its relatively low value in most conditions, the 1987p dime can be of interest to collectors for a number of reasons. First, as part of the Roosevelt dime series, it contributes to the completion of sets that span several decades. The Roosevelt dime series is a popular choice for collectors who enjoy focusing on a specific type of coin that has remained largely unchanged for many years. The 1987p dime, as a piece from the 1980s, serves as a representative example of the coinage of that era. Collectors who specialize in acquiring coins from specific years or decades often seek out examples like the 1987p dime to complete their collections. Additionally, there may be some collectors who focus on collecting coins from specific mints, such as the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1987p dime. For these collectors, the 1987p coin offers a tangible connection to the history of US coinage. In addition to collectors interested in completing sets or focusing on specific years and mints, there are also those who focus on errors and anomalies in the coinage process. Like many other coins, the 1987p dime has the potential for minting errors, which can make certain examples more valuable or desirable to collectors. Some of the most common errors found on the 1987p dime include off-center strikes, die cracks, and double dies. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned in the press during minting, resulting in a design that is misaligned or incomplete. These errors can be visually striking and are often highly sought after by collectors who specialize in unusual or rare coins. Die cracks, which occur when the metal die used to strike the coin develops cracks or fissures, can also be found on the 1987p dime. These cracks may be minor, but they can be an interesting feature for collectors who enjoy finding examples of coins with unusual minting characteristics. Doubled dies, where the design appears to be doubled due to a mistake in the minting process, are less common, but can be particularly valuable if they are noticeable and well preserved. Next up, the 1976 one dime, we see another example of the Roosevelt dime series, but with its own unique context. The 1976 dime was minted during the year of the United States bicentennial, which marked the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. While the bicentennial celebrations were prominently featured on the quarter and half-dollar coins, the dime did not receive a special design for the occasion. However, over the past decade, the dime series has minted 500 times for the occasion. However, the 1976 dime is still a notable piece of American numismatics, as it represents a year of national significance. Like the 1987p dime, the 1976 dime is part of the ongoing Roosevelt dime series and features the same obverse and reverse designs. The 1976 dime was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with a combined total of approximately 1.6 billion coins produced. This high mintage figure means that the 1976 dime, like the 1987 PP coin, is widely available in circulation and not considered rare. The design features of the 1976 dime are identical to those of the 1987p dime, with Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. The composition of the 1976 dime is also the same as the 1987p dime, made of a copper-nickel-clad composition that replaced the silver content in dimes minted after 1964. As a result, the 1976 dime, like the 1987 P dime, has no significant intrinsic value based on the metal content, but it remains an important part of the Roosevelt dime series. The 1976 dime is not particularly valuable in most conditions, but it is of interest to collectors who focus on specific years or eras of coinage. For example, collectors who are interested in acquiring coins from the bicentennial year may seek out the 1976 dime as part of their collection, even though it does not feature a special design for the occasion. Additionally, the 1976 dime is of interest to collectors who focus on acquiring coins from specific mints, or those who are interested in coins from particular decades. The 1967 one dime is a noteworthy coin in the Roosevelt dime series, primarily because it falls into a unique period in U.S. coinage history. The year 1967 was significant for several reasons, not the least of which was the coin's composition and its role in the transition away from silver coins, which had been used for dimes and other circulating currency for much of the 20th century. In terms of historical context, the 1967 dime was part of the final year of minting for 90% silver dimes. Beginning in 1965, the U.S. Mint began producing coins with reduced silver content as a response to rising silver prices. The 1967 dime still contained 90% silver, in contrast to later years when the dime would be made of copper-nickel-clad composition. Thus, the 1967 dime holds a place in numismatic history as one of the last examples of silver dimes in circulation. The design of the 1967 dime remains consistent with the Roosevelt dime series, which has been in place since 1946. The obverse front features a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1967. The reverse displays the traditional design by John Arctinuk, which includes a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. In addition, the reverse includes the inscription E pluribus unum, and the coin's value, 1 dime. The 1967 dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and no mint mark was used on coins produced there. It was produced in high numbers, with over 1.5 billion dimes minted that year, making it a common coin in circulation. Gonzaga, while the production figures for 1967 were high, this coin is significant because it was the last year for the 90% silver dimes, which were eventually phased out in 1965 due to changes in U.S. coinage composition. In terms of market value, the 1967 dime is highly sought after by collectors due to its silver content. As of current precious metal market prices, the silver content alone gives the coin intrinsic value beyond its face value of 10 cents. The melt value of a 1967 dime is determined by the amount of silver it contains. Given that the coin is composed of 90% silver, the value fluctuates with the market price of silver. As of the latest silver market rates, the silver in a 1967 dime is worth approximately $1.50 to $2. However, this value can vary depending on the price of silver, which is subject to market conditions. In terms of condition, the value of the 1967 dime can vary significantly based on its grade. A coin in fine condition, a grade that generally indicates moderate wear but clear details, would be valued higher than one that is heavily worn and circulated. A 1967 dime in fine condition may fetch a price above its melt value, particularly if it is well preserved and free of scratches or damage. Coins in excellent or uncirculated condition, meaning they show no wear and have sharp details, can fetch higher prices, often ranging from $5 to $10 or more, depending on the market and demand among collectors. One aspect that increases the interest in the 1967 dime is its potential for error varieties. Like many coins, the 1967 dime can have various minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or die cracks, which may make them more appealing to collectors of error coins. These errors are generally more difficult to find, and when they do occur, they can increase the coin's value substantially. For example, a 1967 dime with an off-center strike or other noticeable error could be worth more than a typical example, depending on the severity and appeal of the error. Given the coin's silver content, the 1967 dime also holds appeal for those who collect coins, as a hedge against inflation or as part of a broader collection of silver coins. While the 1967 dime might not command the same level of premium as rarer or more iconic coins, it remains a popular choice among collectors who are interested in U.S. coinage, particularly the transition from silver to base metal coins in the mid-20th century. Next up, the 1982 D1 dime coin, minted at the Denver Mint, is part of the long-standing Roosevelt dime series, which has been in production since 1946. The Roosevelt dime series is known for its simple yet enduring design, featuring a portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. The 1982 D dime was minted during a time when the United States had already shifted to using a copper nickel-clad composition for most coins, including the dime, due to the rising cost of silver. The 1982 dime, in terms of historical context, is an example of a standard Roosevelt's dime produced during the 1980s, a period marked by high mintage numbers for circulating coins. This specific coin was struck at the Denver Mint, with the D mint mark indicating its origin. The coin, like most others from this era, was produced using a copper nickel-clad composition, which consists of a core of pure copper, sandwiched between two outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition replaced the 90% silver used in dimes prior to 1965. In terms of mintage, the 1982 D dime had a relatively high production figure, with over 2.5 billion dimes struck that year. As a result, the 1982 D dime is considered very common, and finding one in circulation is not difficult. The large number of dimes produced during this time, combined with their widespread use, means that most 1982 D dimes are in fairly circulated condition. When a coin is described as being in dirty condition, it typically means that it has significant wear and possibly visible grime, dirt, or discoloration on its surface. Coins in dirty condition can be the result of years of handling, exposure to the elements, or storage in environments where the coin has been subject to dirt, oils, or other substances. A 1982 dime in dirty condition would likely exhibit some or all of the following characteristics. Visible dirt and grime. The coin may have accumulated dirt, oil, or residue from years of circulation. This can result in a dull or cloudy appearance, making the details of the coin harder to discern. Wear and tear. The design features on the coin, particularly on the raised areas like Roosevelt's portrait or the torch, may be worn down. In a dirty condition, the wear might be more prominent, which can diminish the clarity of the details. Tarnishing or discoloration. Over time, copper and nickel coins can tarnish or develop a brownish, greenish, or blackish color, especially if exposed to moisture or harsh conditions. The 1982 dime, being composed of copper-nickel, may show signs of tarnishing, particularly if it has been in circulation for decades. Surface damage. If the coin has been mishandled, it could have scratches, dents, or other surface damage that detracts from its overall appearance. In terms of value, a 1982 D dime in dirty condition would generally have minimal worth beyond its face value of 10 cents, especially if it shows heavy signs of wear and tarnish. The value of such a coin is largely determined by its silver content and market conditions, but since the 1982 D dime is made from copper-nickel rather than silver, its intrinsic value is close to its face value. For collectors, a dirty coin is typically not a prime example for inclusion in a collection unless it is an exceptionally rare or valuable variety. Most collectors prefer coins that are well preserved and free of excessive dirt or damage. However, it is important to note that some collectors might find coins in dirty condition interesting if they are looking for coins with particular characteristics, such as errors or unique wear patterns. But in general, a 1982 D dime in dirty condition would not be considered a high-value item in the numismatic market. Next up, the 1990 P1 dime, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The series has maintained its classic design by engraver John R. Sinek, featuring Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, front, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By 1990, the US Mint had already shifted to using copper-nickel-clad compositions for the dime, as it had done since 1965, following the transition from silver due to rising silver prices. Pastorals. In 1990, the composition of the dime consisted of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with a copper-nickel-clad composition that replaced the 90% silver used in pre-1965 dimes. This change in metal content was part of an effort by the US Mint to keep production costs low and ensure that the metal content in circulating coins did not exceed their face value. The 1990 P dime, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, was produced in large quantities, with over 1.4 billion dimes minted that year. This high mintage figure means that the 1990 P dime is commonly found in circulation. So, when a coin is described as being in dirty condition, it generally means that the coin has been heavily circulated and shows visible signs of wear, grime, or contamination on its surface. A 1990 P dime in dirty condition would likely exhibit several characteristics, such as dirt and grime. The coin may have accumulated dirt, dust, oils, or other residues over time, leading to a cloudy or dull appearance. The dirt might be visible in the recessed areas of the design, such as the folds of Roosevelt's portrait or the details of the torch and branches on the reverse. Wear and tear. Circulated dimes, especially those in dirty condition, typically show signs of wear on the high points of the design, such as Roosevelt's cheek, the torch, or the olive and oak branches. The wear can obscure the finer details of the coin, making it less visually appealing to collectors. Tarnishing or discoloration. Over time, copper and nickel coins can tarnish or become discolored. A 1990 P dime in dirty condition might exhibit a brownish or greenish tint, indicating oxidation or exposure to moisture. Tarnishing is a common issue for copper-nickel coins and can significantly affect the appearance of the coin. Surface damage. The coin may show scratches, scuff marks, or small dents from being handled or dropped over the years. This damage can further detract from the coin's overall appearance and make it less desirable for collectors. In terms of market value, a 1990 dime in dirty condition would generally be worth its face value of 10 cents, especially if it shows significant signs of wear or tarnish. Since the coin is made of copper-nickel, it doesn't have any intrinsic value beyond its face value unless the price of copper or nickel rises significantly, which is unlikely to make a noticeable difference in the coin's value. As the coin is a relatively common issue with a high mintage, over 1.4 billion dimes produced, it would not be considered rare or valuable in most conditions. For collectors, a dirty 1990 P dime is not likely to be a prized item unless it is an error coin or has some unique feature that makes it stand out. In general, collectors prefer coins that are in better condition, with clear details and minimal tarnish or damage. However, some collectors may still find interesting coins with unique characteristics, such as die cracks or other minting anomalies, even if the coin is in dirty condition. If the coin were cleaned and restored to a higher quality, it might fetch a slightly higher price, but in most cases, a 1990 P dime in dirty condition will remain relatively low in value. It's also important to note that cleaning a coin can sometimes diminish its value, especially if it is done improperly or aggressively, as cleaning can leave scratches or other marks that affect the coin's surface. In conclusion, a 1990 P1 dime in dirty condition is most likely to be worth its face value of 10 cents, unless it is in better condition or has some rare characteristic, such as a mint error or unique anomaly. Given its high mintage and widespread circulation, this coin does not typically hold significant numismatic value unless it is in exceptional condition or features an unusual characteristic. The dirty condition simply reflects the years of circulation and handling, and unless cleaned or presented in a better state, the coin is unlikely to be considered a valuable piece for collectors.